It's a beautiful start to the weekend, but this right here is the breakwall that was supposed to keep Lake Ontario from coming up onto the Toronto Islands yesterday, and it didn't exactly work. During a storm yesterday, and with all the high winds, it was coming up over these sandbags, and there are more and more sandbags and making its way back up onto these residents' homes, and it's getting worse. And that's why the city has been out sandbagging all day, working with residents to try and make sure that they're preparing for another storm yet tomorrow and potentially anything beyond that.
It's far from fine, but the water will continue to go up for another 7 to 10 days. Depending on how much it is going up, we have measures in place to get up to 75.9, 76 meters above sea level. Again, there will be storm surges in that period, and there will be wind action that will cause substantial flooding effects. If you were here last night, you would know that we've pumped out thousands and thousands of areas on the island itself to make it dry and make it available for the public throughout the whole of the summer. If we can get through a storm like we did last night, we can get through an awful lot of things. Right now, the main road, there are sections where we're having to limit vehicular traffic. We've had to limit traffic from Hanlon's Point today. We have up to 40 centimeters of water. But for the tourists and for the locals and for the residents themselves, we will remain open.
Now, James Dan was taking some time this afternoon to quickly tour Mayor John Tory around as well. They emphasized that the island will remain open to the public, unlike 2017 when it had to be shut down. A big part of the Toronto Islands, of course, are the people who live here, and the impact on them has been harsh. One gentleman telling us today that he was in tears last night when the water started breaking through those sandbags. Tory commending city staff for doing what they can, and the people who live here saying they're learning from the past.
But I think it is fair to say that a number of the things done 2 years ago with respect to the ferry docks and so on, a number of the lessons learned from that time, which had them install sump pumps and different things that are helping to keep the water at bay as best one can, are really helping to make the situation better as of now than it was 2 years ago. And so I want to commend James and Warren and the whole city staff team over here, because I think they really have done a good job. And the residents who I've met along the way today have also joined me in commending the staff.
And who knew? I never thought for a minute that it would be, in 2 years it would come back. Like, I never thought for a second that it would come back. But so I don't know what it is, if it's the environment or I really don't know.
Everybody's trying to make predictions, and then there's a whole intention to control the flow, but I don't know how you control nature.
I mean, I guess it's starting to wear people down a little bit, even though we've all been through it before. It really is a mess back here as well, but that's just a small price to pay for being, having our homes protected.